Hello and welcome to Fluke Fridays. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well, and it's good that it's right before the weekend. What we're talking about today is we're going to be talking about thermal imagers from Fluke and how we can take the images that we've captured in the field on the camera, how do we get them off the camera and onto the computer? What are the different methods we can use to do this? Fluke gives us a lot of options on how to get these off. They actually give us up to 5 options on how to get the images off the camera and onto your PC. So what are these 5 methods that we're going to go over in this video today? They are, we're going to use a USB cable connected to your computer and download them directly that way. We're going to use a flash drive that we stick right in the side of the camera and actually capture the images directly to the flash drive, and then we can just pull the flash drive off and put it in the computer. We're going to use the micro SD card that comes with the camera. We're also going to use Wi-Fi, and with Wi-Fi we're going to be able to do 2 different methods. One is we're going to use Wi-Fi to connect to our smartphone via Fluke Connect to pull the images and the videos off. The other is we're going to use Wi-Fi to connect directly to your computer, and the camera is going to be a hotspot, and we're going to download the images that way. So I'm going to walk through each method in this video and what you need to do to connect the camera and the phone or the camera to the computer and what that will look like with the software. So I hope this is good for you, and we're going to jump into it now. The first method we're going to get into is downloading via USB cable. So now we're going to open up Fluke Connect. So double click and you should open up Fluke Connect Desktop. And if you don't have this downloaded, what I'll do is I'll link a video where it shows you how to download Fluke Connect. You will need that to get the software or to get the images off the camera. Once it comes up, this is where it's going to come up to, and you can see the different connections that it's telling you can make. I'm going to take the USB cable and go ahead and plug it into my computer and into the camera, and my computer will acknowledge that it sees it. And here in a second, hopefully we will see it. Okay, the computer is now seeing the TI-480 Pro, and it's connecting. Here is when it acknowledges that, hey, look, by the way, we do have a new firmware. We can do that. I will go ahead and do that, and I'll fast forward through the process for you guys so you don't have to watch all this. When you do download or try to update your firmware on your camera, you'll notice you will get a progress bar both in the software and on the camera. Once the firmware has been updated, just note that your camera will shut itself off and you will have to turn it back on. When the camera shuts off, you will know that the firmware update has been completed and you are finished with the update. Now that the firmware is updated, you do need to turn the camera back on. So it's going to need to reboot, and then after it reboots, we will see it here on the desktop. Okay, as you can see there, the Fluke Connect Desktop was not picking up the TI-480 Pro, so I just closed it out and restarted it, and now we can see our camera here, as well as we can hit download. From here we're going to say download all or select files, your choice. I'm going to select files. We don't need to download all of them. Let's do the one I did today, and we'll hit download. Pick a place for it to go. Do you want to delete the downloaded measurements from your tool memory? You can either say delete or cancel. I'm going to hit cancel. We'll leave those on there. Now we can go over here to measurements. We said it was in Fluke Connect, Cloud. I think it was under new folder. And I think it's probably this one. Nope. There we go. You can switch your view from the little thumbnail or to like a true thumbnail. So click that view, that little button up there, that'll help you. This is the one I took today and I downloaded, and now I can double click it and get into my editing mode and go through my edit. Okay, so we have now successfully downloaded via the USB cable. Okay, so method 2, what we're going to do is we are going to save it directly to a flash drive. So you open up your camera, and again, this will work with the professional series cameras like the TI 480 Pro or any of the 400 series, TI 300. Any that have the laser sharp autofocus, the USB should have, we should have a USB port on the side that you can do that. You can also do it with the TIX 500 series. So anyways, you put that in the side, then we go through the menu, we say settings. How are we going to save? Before we were on internal memory, now we're going to say flash drive, and then we hit done. Okay, so let's take an image. I'm going to use laser sharp autofocus, snap it into focus for myself. That's squeezing that black trigger, and say number 2 method. And we captured it and we hit save. Image is saving. Okay, we can verify that we have this by going into memory, and there it is. Okay, so let's pull this out and go to the computer. You then plug your USB cable, or your USB flash drive I should say, into your PC and pull it up on your file finder, file explorer. Find it, go into here. It's going to be under the DCIM folder that it's created, and here is the file we want. Now at this point we can drag this over here to the side, go into measurements, and now pull this back over here. Grab this and we should be able to drop it in. If we can't, other method would be to do go into this mode. We know where it is now, so we just do this PC, and dialed into our USB flash drive, and here we go. Okay, I'm learning something new on this video as well. You see this error? What it's saying is we have got to drop the file into under Fluke Connect. So documents, Fluke Connect, Brandon, my email. So put it in where it says that you need to put it, and I'll show that here right now. So we've got it here. Now we're going to go into Documents. So I did Documents, Fluke Connect, and right here. Okay, so now we can drop it into here, and we can say, we can make it a new folder if we want, and we can say USB flash drive method, hit enter, and pull this from our USB into here. It's going to copy and paste, and now we should be able to go back over here to measurements, and we might even be able to click this screen, and we can see method 2 has now dropped in here. We did have to put it in the right folder on our computer, and I did not realize that before I started the video, but you're learning with me. That's all for method 2. On to the next. Okay, we're moving on to the next method. We pulled the USB cable out, or USB flash drive out on the last video, and now we are going to use the SD card. If you don't have it in there already, you can put it in. It should come with the camera. It's a little bitty thing. Got to get it in there and then press it down, and it'll snap in, and then you're good to go. You will need to go into the menu. Don't forget to do this. And tell it where you want to store. If you were still in where it was before and you were on USB flash drive and you tried to capture an image and you hit save, it'll tell you that it doesn't detect a flash drive. So we need to go into the menu, settings, and we need to switch it to SD card. Done. And now we can take an image, laser sharp autofocus, hold up the number 3, snap the image, and hit save. Now we'll switch over to the computer and show you how you pull it out. I pulled the micro SD card out of the camera and then put it into my computer. I have its own individual port, but if not, you're going to have to use some kind of connector to get that to connect to your PC. Once you connect it to the PC, you'll see it'll show up in your drives and devices. Double click there, DCM, okay, and the one that was edited today. And let's see if we can, this one. This is the most recent one. So this is the one we're going to take, and remember from before, to get this where we want it, we are going to need to get into this, make sure that we're in username, and it's going to, remember in Fluke Connect Desktop it told us where we had to put it. So I created a new folder. Let's call this SD card. I'll delete everything else out of that folder. I'm going to grab the image that I care about, pull it over there. Now that it's in the folder, I can go into here and syncing files. If we switch views, switch back, I'm guessing it'll be there. And there it is, number 3. So this is the third method that you can get it out using the micro SD card. Okay, for the next method, what we're going to do is we are going to connect via Wi-Fi to your computer or to your phone. We're going to start with the computer. The first thing you have to do is go in. If you've never done it before, you have to go into Fluke Connect, and you can see it says pair to mobile device. So we want to click that. And you can see we don't have the ability to turn on Wi-Fi yet. So it's telling us to go to fluke.com/registerti and put in our serial number, which is right there, and then it'll give us a code, and we'll enter the code in this screen. So let's jump over to the computer, we'll do that, and we'll be back to the camera here in a second. When you're going to turn on your Wi-Fi in your device, you're going to go here to this website, type in fluke.com/register/ti, and it'll bring you to this website. Once you get here, select your language, then enter all your information and the serial number right here, and hit submit. Once that happens, if it's working properly, you'll get a code and you can just enter that in. If it doesn't work properly and you get this error message, what you'll need to do is you will need to reach out to our technical support folks, and they will be able to help you with that. If you're in the United States, you can reach out to technical support via 800-873-5853. You can also reach out to them with an email if you prefer, with support@fluke.com. Again, support@fluke.com. Provide your serial number and they will get you a code that you can enter in yourself to turn this feature on. Once you get your code, you're going to come in here and you will turn that on, and we're going to say enter code. Then you'll type your code in and progress to the next step. Now you can see we are enabled for all of the following: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Bluetooth audio, so on and so forth. Say OK. Okay, for the next method, what we're going to do is we are going to connect via Wi-Fi to your computer or to your phone. We're going to start with the computer. The first thing you have to do is go in. If you've never done it before, you have to go into Fluke Connect, and you can see it says pair to mobile device, so we want to click that. And you can see we don't have the ability to turn on Wi-Fi yet. So it's telling us to go to fluke.com/registerti and put in our serial number, which is right there, and then it'll give us a code, and we'll enter the code in this screen. So let's jump over to the computer, we'll do that, and we'll be back to the camera here in a second. When you're going to turn on your Wi-Fi in your device, you're going to go here to this website, type in fluke.com/register/ti, and it'll bring you to this website. Once you get here, select your language, then enter all your information and the serial number right here, and hit submit. Once that happens, if it's working properly, you'll get a code and you can just enter that in. If it doesn't work properly and you get this error message, what you'll need to do is you will need to reach out to our technical support folks, and they will be able to help you with that. If you're in the United States, you can reach out to technical support via 800-873-5853. You can also reach out to them with an email if you prefer, with support@fluke.com. Again, support@fluke.com. Provide your serial number and they will get you a code that you can enter in yourself to turn this feature on. Once you get your code, you're going to come in here and you will turn that on, and we're going to say enter code. Then you'll type your code in and progress to the next step. Now you can see we are enabled for all of the following: Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Bluetooth audio, so on and so forth. Say OK. Now we are good to go. Now that we have enabled the radios on your camera, we can go in and we can do a little bit more. We can start with the now fourth way of transferring images. Go into camera. Well, let's go back real quick. So under Fluke Connect, you can see your Wi-Fi. We can turn that on now. Okay. Now we can go into camera if we want. Wireless and Wi-Fi hotspot, and we can see it is on right now. If it was not on, if it was off, then we would need to turn it on. Once it's on, your phone or your computer will be able to see this as a hotspot. We're going to go over to the computer and show you on that, and later I'll try to show you on the phone. Now that we have the Wi-Fi radio turned on the camera, we're going to go over to the computer and look for that Wi-Fi hotspot. You can see I'm connected to my local home internet. Now I'm going to click the Fluke camera. If you've never connected to a camera, I think the password is Fluke Tools. You can look in the user manual if you want to verify that. The user manual should tell you what the default password is unless you've changed it. You can see here in the background that Fluke Connect Desktop started recognizing it the moment we connected. So it is still connecting, but now you can see over here we are connected to the TI 480 Pro. So again, we can hit download, select files, this, click download, and we will put that into Wi-Fi. And just so you know, or just as a reminder, this is not connected via a cable or anything. This is only through the Wi-Fi. So the TI 480 is creating its own Wi-Fi hotspot. It's just sitting on my table across the office, and my computer is connecting to it. So right now I couldn't, you can see it says I don't have any internet access. That's because how I'm connected my computer to Wi-Fi right now is directly to the camera, not to our local, or not to my internet at home. And here we go. You can see right here we got our fourth image via Wi-Fi. Oh, it's not letting me move it. Tried to open it up for you. It opened up on my other screen, so I couldn't show you. But you can see number 4. So that's the number 4 method. We are now going to use the 5th method of getting an image off of the camera and onto your computer. And we're going to do that through the phone this time. So again, we still have the Wi-Fi hotspot on. In the settings, if you go to camera and wireless, you see Wi-Fi hotspot is on. So then in my phone, I go down here, I look for the Fluke camera, click on it. You can see it's connecting. No internet, which is what we expect. And then what we do is we go into Fluke Connect. Okay. And it says this network has no internet access. Don't ask me this again. Stay connected. Yes, I do. Okay. So again, I'm going to jump over here. And you can see now we've got the camera that is pulled up. Cool thing when you're connected to your phone, you can actually see the live image of what's going on. So if I look at my computers or something, you can see it a live image. I'll capture that image, just froze it so you can see it, and now I can hit save. I save that image, and it should, I believe, automatically save over here. It might not have. If it doesn't, that's okay. You just hit this little down arrow and say download selected images, and we're going to do this one. Well, actually, I think I know what might have happened. If you are still in this mode in your, not memory, so that went into our SD card, I believe. So if we look in here, we have to go back down to our settings. This is important. We want to go to storage. We want it to be internal memory. If we're going to connect to our phone and we're going to transfer stuff, we need to have it in internal memory. So let's do that once more. I'm going to capture it, freeze image. I'm going to hit save. And when I save it, there we go. And now if I go and I hit this little down arrow, download selected images, now I can choose the most recent one, and I hit the little download arrow. Download complete. Okay. And what we'll see is we're going to be able to see the images. Now this is trying to update my Fluke Connect on the phone. I'm not going to make you watch this. I'll fast forward this for you. Oh, actually it can't update it until we switch. We got to switch off of this Wi-Fi now. So we can connect back to the home network if we want, or just turn off the Wi-Fi, whatever you prefer. Okay. Now, sorry, let me do this. and we can see this is the image that we took just a second ago, and it's on my phone, but I am going to go over to my Fluke Connect Desktop and we will see that it's automatically on there because the phone loaded it to the cloud, and it will be on Fluke Connect Desktop. So we're back to the computer after downloading the image via the iPhone or the smartphone, and I'm going to fire up my Fluke Connect Desktop. Remember, I'm signed into the same account on both my phone and Fluke Connect Desktop. We'll go over here, and it is syncing, and once it syncs, we should see it right here. Okay, for some reason I did have difficulty with this syncing. It didn't work at first, so what I did is I connected my phone back to the camera and downloaded the image once more to my phone, and then sure enough it did sync. Now I will say, once you download it to your phone, you will need to disconnect from your from the camera via Wi-Fi so that you're connected to normal Wi-Fi, or at least your network, so that the camera then can upload it to the cloud. But then after that happens, you do sign in to Fluke Connect Desktop or the web app, and you will be able to see the image. Here it is on Fluke Connect Desktop, and then if you did go into the sign in, the website, you can see the same image. So it is on the cloud, and you can see it in multiple places. So again, this is 5 ways that you can download images from a thermal imager, from a Fluke thermal imager, and get it onto your Fluke Connect Desktop. So I hope this helps and gives you a lot of good information. This is not something, you don't need to use all 5 methods. Pick one method that works best for you and your workflow, and just stick with that. If you do that, I think you'll be happy and you'll get really good at it. But now you know what all the options are to get the images off. Thanks, and have a great weekend.